What's up? My name's Mark Pollard. I was dealing with some mental blocks in getting this talk together, largely, but not only, because of the intimidating nature of the other people who were going to talk to you about creativity. Talking about creativity is one of my favorite things to talk about. It's also one of my favorite things to do. But this mental block was making me doubt what I could add to you, to your life, to your thoughts, compared to all the other amazing people you're going to be hearing from. And when I get caught in a knot like that, and sometimes these knots can last years, this one lasted a few days, I try to remind myself just to operate and deal with whatever I think is most truthful right now. And so I'm recording this stream of consciousness, thinking about all the different ways I could have done this and made it look professional and incredible. It was starting to overwhelm me. I'm also doing this lying down. I've spent a lot of time lying down over the past 5 weeks. I've been inside for the most part of those 5 weeks. I've been lying down a lot. I feel very privileged to be able to stay inside, unlike a lot of other people. I've become so good at lying down that I just pulled a back muscle, actually, but that's not what brings me to the ground. I've probably cried 4 or 5 times in the past 2 weeks. I'm hearing some sad stories about people I know, and sometimes you just need to cry, let it all out, and sometimes I've cried on the ground. The third thing is I just want to communicate this little motto that I have that steadies me more often than it doesn't, and it's this: from mess comes what's next. From mess comes what's next. From mess comes what's next. In some ways I feel that that's something of a autobiographical summary for growing up and whatever goes on in my head, because it bounces around a lot inside there. But really I think it's partly to do with the mind of creative folk. When you look at the big 5 personality traits, OCEAN, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, that mess is probably most closely connected to the N, neuroticism, and maybe it's a symptom of the O, the openness, the seeking of variety and novelty in life, so that there's always so much to choose from. And if there's always so much to choose from, things might feel like it's a mess. But the N, neuroticism, it's really a way to describe brains that bounce around a lot, that aren't necessarily stable, even though the word stable could be used in a judgmental way. People who do creative work tend to be higher in neuroticism, less stable, bouncing around. And when you pair that with the openness, the seeking of new experiences and new ideas and maybe even new people, those two things can combine in a way that can actually overwhelm the creative brain. And the way that they often have to deal with it is to put something out into the world, to put that mess out into the world. And not only is it about the creative mind, it's about the way that ideas actually happen. And to understand ideas, obviously we can cite many people. I tend to go for Edward de Bono. And to understand an idea is to understand linear thinking and lateral thinking, where linear thinking takes a topic such as, let's take the word mess, and discuss what comes to mind. Garbage, trash, creative people, messy desks, whatever it is. Those thoughts are linear thoughts because they're nearly associated with the starting word mess. A lateral thought combines things that don't usually belong together in novel and useful ways. So to take mess and to combine it with hospital might lead you to particular ideas. And I just think that from mess comes what's next. Not only has it been useful for me just personally as a way to ground me when I'm launching into different parts of the atmosphere with ideas, sometimes unnecessarily, sometimes because I need to, because I get paid to do that. I also think it's a useful rumination for whatever's happening right now, and maybe rumination is too strong. Maybe it's just a consolation, just a way to be slightly nice about the chaos that's going on in the world right now. It's always chaotic. I mean, humans don't control much, if anything. We can't be certain about now, let alone the future. But I just find that from mess comes what's next. It just keeps me slightly more peaceful with myself than I've been over the years. And for some of us who've dealt with bouncy brains, we know that that's a very powerful thing to be able to do, just to ground yourself a little bit more than before, And that's all it really comes down to. So that's all I want to talk to you about today. Hope you're taking care of your loved ones. I hope you're moving and not just lying down and pulling your back muscles, and that you get to explore a creative life and not just have a career where your creativity serves a job title or a timesheet or a project code, that you actually explore what creativity means to you beyond the profession. It's innate in all humans. Yes, some people are prolific at it and incredible at it. And it's important. It becomes more and more important if you've had an inkling in your life that you are creative and you need to work out how to do something with it. So that's all.